Today, we're going to be talking about the Stream Team banner. Now, the Stream Team banner lets you show the logo or icon of a stream team repeatedly throughout a stream or whenever somebody hosts or raids your channel from that team. So today, we're going to walk through what the Stream Team banner is, how to set it up, and what are some commonly asked questions when things go wrong and how do I fix it. So to start, you're going to want to go to the GitHub link and download the file as a zip so that you have all of the contents. Once the zip is downloaded, you can show it in your Windows Explorer, and at this point you can move it to wherever you want, whether you have a stream folder or something where you keep all of your stream graphics. If you open up the folder, you'll find an overlay folder and then 2 JavaScript files. Now, something to note is that these files cannot be double clicked in order to open them up. You have to right click and edit the file using your preferred text editor. I'm going to be using Notepad++ so that I can open multiple files and easily switch between them. We're going to open up the settings JavaScript file. You'll see that it has a has alerts option. Now, this is a very important setting. If you have alerts on your channel for hosts and raids, then you want this value to be true because this will synchronize the overlay with your alerts as they come in through Streamlabs. If you do not have host and raid alerts, then there's no need to synchronize it with your Streamlabs alerts. So you want to set this value to false. We're going to go ahead and set it as true. Once we've set up this option, we can go and we can put in the name of the Twitch team that we want this overlay to work with. Now, if you want to find a Twitch team link, or the name of your Twitch team, you might notice that when streamers are streaming, they might have a team underneath their stream that shows which team or teams that they are on. If you go to this team page, you can see all of the members of that team, and you can also see the name of that team. So you can grab that name from either just the page, you can grab it from the URL, or you can just type it out any way that you want. The next setting in the settings.javascript file is Stream Team Members. Now, Stream Team Members is a list of members. You write up the list of members, and what this would be used for is if you're in an unofficial stream team, so you're on a Discord with a bunch of friends or a bunch of people that you've met through Twitch, but it's not an official Twitch team hosted by some partner. This allows you to enter in the names of the users that are on your stream team so that you can still trigger this overlay. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to enter in some names here. We have Solaria Games, who is a co-founder of the Trailblazers stream team. We have myself, we have Tinman135, and those are the users that when they host me, I want to show the Trailblazers icon. This isn't all the users in Trailblazers. I'm just leaving the list simple for demonstration purposes, but you could fill this out with as many users as you wanted to. Alright, so moving on through the settings file, we get to the animation options. This is where you can customize how long or how many seconds the logo displays on screen. You can display how many minutes until it repeats. So let me pause there and talk about that. The overlay will display the logo on host and raid, but then it will also display the logo on a timer. So every 15 minutes, it will show the logo. This allows it to act as both a host and raid alert, but also just kind of as a team sponsor, so that it will show throughout your stream so that members know or viewers know that you're a part of that stream team. If you don't want the logo to repeat at all, set the repeat value to 0. The next two settings allow you to customize whether or not you want the logo to appear on host, raid, or both. If you want it to appear on host, set that value to true. If you want it to appear on raid, set that value to true, or false if you don't want it to show on host or raid. The next two options are the min viewers in host or the min viewers in the raid, and this just allows you to say if I got hosted from the stream team, what's the minimum number of viewers that I want to be a part of this host or raid in order for it to trigger the overlay. I don't imagine you'll want to use this too much because you want to shout out the team that you're on, regardless of if it's a small raid or a large raid. And then the final two options allow you to customize how the logo fades in or fades out, how it appears and disappears. Now there's a link with this setting that takes you to a demonstration page, a demo page where you can try out a bunch of different animations. Pick through the ones that you think you might like. Just try a couple, and once you find one that you like this flip in X, you can copy and paste that text, or just type that text into the animation value. And finally, we have the image options. This allows you to specify everything about the logo itself that will be displaying on screen. To start, you're gonna have to put the image that you want to show into the overlay/images folder. So inside the overlay folder will be the images folder, where you can then put any logo that you want to display in the sponsor banner. Once the image is in the folder, then you can take the name of that logo, and you want to make sure that you also include the file extension, which is the type of a picture. Most likely it's going to be a PNG or a JPEG, but you want to include, or a GIF, you want to include that extension when you put it into the settings file. The next option is if you need to set a fixed height on the logo. Now you might download a picture of your logo that is 1,000 pixels wide and 1,000 pixels tall. That's going to be rather large on your stream. So if you want to make sure that the image has a fixed height or width, just set that value to true and change the image height to whatever you would like to use. All right, so I think the next step for us is going to be to test the overlay. Let's make sure that it's all set up and working correctly. So in Chrome or Firefox or your browser of choice, Control O will open. To open the file, navigate to where you put the Stream Team Banner folder, go into Overlay and open the index file. Most likely you're going to get this text, no Streamlabs token found or loaded. Here's a step that we still need to do. We need to tell the file how to talk to Streamlabs. This just allows the overlay to communicate with Streamlabs and get alerted when you get hosted or rated. So if you right click and edit the token file, this is another JavaScript file, so we can't just open it. If you right click it and edit it, you'll find a link to go get your Streamlabs token. So this link takes you to the API settings part of the Streamlabs settings dashboard. If you go to API tokens, you'll see a Your Socket API token option. Copy this value and put it into the token.js file in between the two quotation marks. It'll be a really long string of randomized characters and numbers. You just want to save that file and then we can go back to the index.html file, reload, and you should see the image appear. If you don't see the logo appear, it could be because you set repeat equal to 0. For testing purposes, make the repeat value greater than 0, which will allow you to see the logo appear and just make sure everything looks all right. All right, so now that we've got the index file set up correctly, we've got the settings all set up, we've got the token in there. When we open the file, we can now see the logo spinning. Now, if we go over to OBS, sorry for the streamception here, but we're going to add a browser source. And this is going to be how we add this into our OBS or Streamlabs OBS software or other broadcasting software. So you want to create a new browser source, name it however you want. Set it to be a local file and navigate to where you've put the Stream Team banner. Open the index.html file that's inside the overlay folder. You can set the width to 1920 by 1080 and the height to 1080. I set it to my canvas size so that it's the same size as my entire stream. You can customize this to whatever dimensions you want that match the size of your logo. And here we go. So now you can see that the Trailblazers logo is spinning in the top left. And if I get rid of the streamception here, we can see that the logo is spinning all on its own. But here comes the issue of the logo is slightly invasive. It's a little too large. So we're gonna go back to the settings file and set a max height on this. Set a max height on this logo, just so that it isn't as large. So if I go to the settings file and I set the settings, if I set the image height to 200, and then I refresh the cache on that HTML browser source, we can see that the Trailblazers logo gets resized properly and now looks about to where I had it before. And if we go back to Chrome here, we can now see I now want to mess with the rest of the settings just so you can see how they take effect. So if I align the image to the right, you can see that the image appears on the right hand side there. If I align it to the left, it'll go to the left. And this setting is so that you can tell your logo to appear wherever you want. And then if one of the animations you choose is a fade in left, so the logo is going to appear from the left and fade in, you're going to want the logo to be aligned to the left hand side so that the animation looks normal, as opposed to it just fading in from the left when it's on the right or in the middle. If you want it to bounce in from the top, you might want to center it just because that's just the way you want it to look. So this really allows you to play with those settings and get the logo where you want it to be. The final setting is to spin the image. The final setting is to spin the image. So if you don't want the logo to spin at all, just set this value to false and then it'll animate in and then animate out. This just says, do I want the logo to be continuously spinning as the logo is showing? The very last option outside of the configurations section of the document or of the settings file is this debug variable. And this is really intended for when things are going wrong, when you need to figure out why something's not working. You need to get a better look at what the values of each of the settings is. So let's pretend that you were editing the document or editing this settings file, and you let's switch to Strike Nation. And let's say you wanted to confirm that the overlay is retrieving all of the members of the Strike Nation team. So if you're familiar with browser tools for debugging, this may seem familiar. For those of you that haven't debugged in a browser before, all we need you to do is set this debug value to true in the settings file, and then in your browser, you're going to right-click the page and hit inspect. Now yours might appear on the right-hand side. Yours also might appear on the left-hand side. I prefer to have it on the bottom, and you can configure that by using the 3 dots. Another way to open up the developer tools is to use the 3 dots in the top right, go to settings, and then developer tools. Once you have this tab open, reload the page and go to console. Here you'll see a printout of all of the members that the overlay found for the stream team. So this is pulling in all of the Twitch channels that are part of this team. And this lets us confirm that it's using the stream team as well as the stream team members list correctly. Now, let's purposefully spell Strike Nation wrong because Frisky likes his ones. And we'll go back and refresh the overlay and we'll see a 404 message. We'll see an error. And that kind of gives us a hint that something went wrong, that there was no stream team with that name. If we do something else incorrect, where we accidentally forget to put an end quote on the value, there will be a similar red error message. And then you can click on the right hand side and it'll show you the exact line where the error occurred. So this allows you to debug yourself and figure out, okay, what's wrong? What line did I accidentally leave off a quote, leave off a bracket, things of that nature? This should help you figure those sorts of details out. Once you're done debugging, you can set that value to false in the settings file, reload the page, and you're good to go.